Redeveloping the ESB's Fitzwilliam Street site presents several major challenges from an engineering perspective. These challenges have been carefully identified and plans made to address them.
This is probably the biggest challenging construction project the city has seen for many, many, many years. For us, one of the key requirements for this project at the outset was self-financing. And as such, we think it's something which is very important not only for the company but for the local area, for the city. And who wouldn't want to be involved in such an energetic, wonderful project?
The metal gates are open, you move through and you're encouraged.
Actually delivering a project on this scale in the centre of Dublin will be a major challenge, but we are very experienced at developing and delivering big projects. There's a lot of construction risk, there's a lot of planning risk, there's a lot of implementation risk.
We recognise that it'll take in the order of 2 to 2.5 years for the construction period. After that, there will also be a requirement for a fit-out of the building, which could take another several months.
This site involves a number of engineering challenges, both below ground and above ground. The fieldwork is designed to identify potential weaknesses or strong points in the ground conditions, such that we can design and eliminate the potential for future uncertainties.
We know through our investigations that there's a very high water table. We also know that the site previously had a quarry back in the 18th century, and that this has now been built over, but the remaining part of the quarry is still there, so there is stone at a high level on one side of the site, and on the other side of the site where it's been excavated we have a dip effectively, so we have to design a building that will sit comfortably over that.
In terms of archaeology, we're assured that there isn't anything left, simply because the existing building that's on the site, which dates back from the 1960s, it went down to a -2 basement, and under that is a quarry, so there doesn't seem to have been historically any archaeological value within the site. I think the value is very much within the architectural heritage and preserving that within the Georgian Mile in the context of the city itself.
Any city centre site is always difficult to design on in terms of constraints, but this site is particularly interesting because we're surrounded by protected structures, all of the 18th century townhouses which are remaining on the site.
We need to proceed with caution in every activity we carry out in this area. The demolition of the building will be carried out in a very sensitive and controlled fashion. First of all, it's critical that we would acknowledge the presence of the protected structures.
We'll be putting in state-of-the-art real-time monitoring for vibration and movement in these properties. We'll also be using temporary supports for these properties. It's something which we'll be managing and monitoring on a daily basis during the construction to make sure that no damage or no repair is needed to any of these properties during the construction phase.
In the Fitzwilliam site, the risk of flooding is pluvial flooding, high intense rainfall which is greater than the capacity of the drainage network, and so the streets form the conduit for water flowing, thereby generate a potential risk to entrances to ramps or underground car parking areas. However, we are able to manage that, and we are able to provide mitigation measures.
A lot is happening over the last number of years about the Green Agenda and sustainability. So as part of this project, we would have looked at a variety of different ways of delivering a very energy efficient building.
It's going to be naturally ventilated. It's actually going to have very sustainable with regard to heating, with regard to ground source, air sourced heat pumps. So the costs of running the building are going to be minimal in comparison to what it is at the present time.
Engineering on this site is very interesting, particularly with regard to Fitzwilliam Street. It's very important to us on Fitzwilliam Street that the brick building that we make is a load-bearing brick structure, which isn't the normal way that things are built anymore. Typically around Dublin and in Europe, you will have a concrete superstructure onto which a brick cladding is applied effectively. The other buildings on Fitzwilliam Street, the 18th century townhouses, were not built that way. They're monumental brick structures. So it's important, in order for us to be able to have sympathy with the character of those buildings, that the building that we make is made in the same way.
If you go right back to the start of ESB in 1927 with Ardna Crusha, very groundbreaking for the fledgling Irish state on through rural electrification, the development of our generation fleet through peat-fired stations, through coal and oil, and then kind of fast forward to today, we have a world-leading position in smart grids.
You know, as an engineering company, we're really used to building big projects, taking on big projects, and anybody that knows anything about big projects knows there's a project risk. So taking it from the vision that the architect has, getting the right contractors to build, making sure we deliver the vision that we have for the building and that we have a success at the end of this, on time, on schedule and within budget and to design. That's really important, but it's a major set of challenges.
We have an opportunity to create something truly representative of ESB, where people will say, that is ESB, that is a fantastic building that blends in with the whole heritage and the environment here in Fitzwilliam Street.